Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Kama with KamaSpeaks.com, and this morning we are back. Yesterday, October 13th, it was a holiday, I thought, for some people, I guess not for everybody. The banks were closed, some of the schools, but there was places that was open. I didn't do mine. I just figured it's a holiday. Anyhow, today I want to talk about domestic violence in the church. Um, One thing I want to talk about is this. I must say this. It happens everywhere. People, I don't know why, tend to put other people on a pedestal or figure because it is a church or what have you, or somebody's in a higher power that they're just not supposed to do certain things and they shouldn't. However, you're not supposed to do certain things and you shouldn't. The Bible says, God says he's no respecter of person. With that said, stop judging people in the church, even with not just with domestic violence, but anything. Stop saying, "Oh, I knew this pastor was going to do that, or this, or oh my gosh, that's why I don't go to church." No, what you do is you pray and you leave and ask God to send you somewhere because everybody's not doing everything. There are people out there that are. They were never truly delivered, or they took their position to their head. So stop judging and saying that's why you don't go to church because church people are X, Y, and Z. No, all people are X, Y, and Z. People are hypocrites. They are who they are. So it happens everywhere. Bible tells you to save yourself from this untoward generation. That means save yourself. Forget what everybody else is doing. As long as you make it, don't miss out on heaven because you're worried about what's happening in the church. So yes, domestic violence happened in the church. There are no perfect people in the church. I remember running into a lady that I used to go to church with some years back. And her husband, they were very, very nice looking couple, both of them, very well dressed, very nice couple. And I remember I was at the store or something. I ran into her and she told me where she lived and she had some questions about real estate. So I went over to speak with the lady and we sat down and we talked and kind of caught up on some things. And when I told her what I was going through, the little bit, she told me what she was going through. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could not imagine. She said she used to come to church. He told her what to wear for the most part and, made sure she looked nice. She would get complimented. I mean, like I said, they were a nice looking couple. They always dressed sharp. I mean, they dressed. And people always complimented them. Well, I guess men were looking and people were complimenting. He didn't like that, so he would get jealous. He would go home and beat her up. And then she has to come to church with a smile on her face, like everything is okay, getting dressed up again, looking nice, and have to deal with this time and time again. Now, this person was a minister, not the minister of the church, not the pastor of the church. He was a minister. He no longer attends the church, but he was a minister of the church. People, everybody's not delivered. You have to think about where we've come from. And people still feel a certain way and they feel okay. I find sometimes men gets intimidated by women. I guess that's what it is. But her thing and my thing too was I come home to you all the time. I don't flirt back. I just smile and say thank you. He didn't like it. Yet and still he was the one that made sure she dressed nice. He was the one that made sure that they looked good and they coordinated and all that kind of stuff. To me, it's just not fair. It is not fair. But the other problem that I have is that they don't teach this in the church. We don't talk about domestic violence in the church. And it saddens me because so many people are going through it. But again, people are people. They assume, oh, no, it's not happening in church because once you get saved and delivered, you're not doing that. But yeah, God may have saved and delivered you from some other thing, from everything, but you don't even recognize your deliverance in your rage and your anger. Churches, you guys need to talk about this more. This needs to be a topic that's brought up. Period. There is no excuse why we don't talk about domestic violence in the church. The Bible doesn't condone it. The Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. You're not going to harm your body. You're supposed to become one flesh. So if you're not going to harm your body, why would you harm your wife or your husband? I just don't get it. I don't know what it is that people feel like they're entitled to a person. One flesh. The two shall become one. See, remember, Eve came from the rib. The reason why we're called woman is because we came from a man. The reason why we're one flesh is because we came from the flesh of a man. So why you wouldn't do the same thing to yourself, nor would you want anybody else to do it. But churches, I'm putting a cry out to you guys. I'm gonna post this everywhere. Start talking to your congregation about this. Start talking to your young girls and your young men, because there's a lot of people that's in the church that their parents don't even go to church, but this is what they see. I remember praying for a couple of young people, and a few of them, and a couple of them were saying they're tired of the fussing and the fighting in the house. It stresses them out. They don't do well because of that. They rebel because of that. Get help. God can deliver you too from that. Stop making excuses. Oh, I'm just mad, or oh, it's okay. What if God right now picked you up and slung you around, gave you a black eye, broke your arm, threw you down the stairs? Because there's a lot of that's going on. Locking you in closets and basements and all that kind of stuff, controlling your every move. The Lord gives us free will. We choose what we want to do. But then we don't want to serve a God like that, one that gives us free will, but he tells us he'll give us wisdom too. So let's get it together, churches. We need to talk about everything that's going on. Depression, suicide, divorce. These are things that are happening in the church today. People want to run to different churches because they feel like, oh, this is a feel-good message, or this church is bigger or more bigger than mine, or my praise team is, or my choir is better than yours. But there's no substance. They'll tell you if you put X, Y, and Z in the plate that you're going to get, your car in the next 7 days. You're going to get this wonderful house, but they don't teach you that when you get saved, oh, it's on and popping. There's some stuff you're about to deal with. It's going to get hard, but how are you going to deal with it? Stop running to these churches just because you think the pastor look good or his wife look good. It ain't yours. He ain't yours. She ain't yours. Save yourself. And again, churches, start talking to people. Start talking to your congregation. And a lot of you guys don't know about it, so bring in somebody. Bring somebody in to speak on this. There are young girls that are dying, being killed right now because they weren't taught. Don't wait till the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Don't wait till till it's over and then say, oh, now we're going to. Educate now. With that said, if you need someone, I do speak on that subject as well, about domestic violence. Stop blaming God for it, because it's not his fault. We make these choices. We make the choices to stay. People make choices to abuse. And God said he'll always give us a way of escape if you watch the signs early enough. you'll be able to understand, or you'll be able to leave sooner and not get your feelings caught up. It's not about how you feel, because those will go away. Trust me. I'm a true believer of it. I was with my ex-husband for a total of 17 years, and I feel nothing. And I have no problem with that. I still pray for him and love him as a human being, as God tells us to love everybody. I've forgiven him. I've moved forward. But thank God I'm free. All right, thanks for watching. You guys, I'll leave some information if you need it or know someone who needs it. In California, I have two ladies that I send people to, which is Natalie Lamb with itsyourchoiceonline.com. She has a seminar coming up on November 8th called The Disturbed, and that's November 8th, 2014. Again, that's itsyourchoiceonline.com. She's a marriage and family therapist, and she can help get you guys back together. If you seek help and you want help and you get help, things can change. Then also I have a friend of mine, her name is Malika Brown. She has a company called Your Beautiful Mind. I just love the name of it, Your Beautiful Mind. And the name of her website is yourmindisbeautiful.com. And if you go there, she can help you with low cost to no cost help. Make sure you check her out. Also, she was on my show and she mentioned how churches are now hiring therapists to come in, or bringing in Christian therapists to their church, because we need it. Mental health, yes, we deal with mental health. Mental health doesn't mean you're crazy. Mental health just means you need to take care of this, your well-being, your mind. And tonight, actually, I have a lady on my show, Comma Speaks, tonight at 6 p.m. It's October 14, 2014. And her name is Jaquette Dumas. And she's doing an event this weekend called Shattered. And Walgreens is going to bring in some information about health and wellness. And we have to get our minds together. We have to get our bodies together, physically and spiritually. We lose it. We do. We lose it. Been there, done that. I almost lost my mind, but thank God I got it together. Also, for help across the nation, you can go to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. That's NCADV.org. National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, NCADV.org. And they can help you with help all across the nation. They have statistics, they have stories. Right now, every day, they're featuring a different story regarding domestic violence, people that were killed. Get help, get someone else help, and get out. Speak up and speak out. And again, to my churches, please, it's okay to get help. Please get help. Please bring in outside help. Someone that's been through it, because somebody in your congregation is going through this and you probably will never know. And some of you guys do know and still won't do nothing about it, but it's time. All right, thank you for watching. You can always check me out at kamaspeaks.com. That's KAMA speaks.com for more information about me. All right, thank you so much for watching, and make it a great one.